Yeah. And for my third and final case, a look at champion Black Paz and the future. We're going to get right into this. I think that STP's champion Black Pazmanian needs no introduction, but for those who might need one, there might be a small percentile of people who need an introduction on Black Paz. Black Paz is basically a Ola Jr. Boyle's Dirty Mary cross dog. A Bolio Hank Eli is the most basic way I can say it, cross dog. He comes from winning dogs, and he has produced more than his fair share of winners. You look at champion Black Paz Jr., you look at champion Bad Rosemary that, raised havoc overseas, and they had to even put a mail on her to try to stop her, so that's bad on their behalf. But anyway, I digress. Champion Luther, champion Nigel, champion Rage, champion Apache, Sean B's Boomer, SCP's Nasty. So as you can see, a plethora of champions and winners and multi-time winners did Black Paz throw through the legendary SCP kennels, and those dogs were able to go on and be successful, and then also produce a lot of those dogs are either registered merit themselves or POR themselves. So the lineage continued, and I began to look further and further down the line of the lineage and look at these dogs, and it made me think about the future of this particular strand. Some people will call it a Boyle's dog. Some people will say, well, it's kind of like more Eli than Bolio or Boyle's, just depending on how you want to look at it or what you want to give credence or credit to versus the other. But this particular strand of Boyle's, or the Black Paz strand, has produced more winners, in my opinion, with less losses behind it. Okay, if we look at many other Boyle's strands or the Boyle's lines just themselves, a lot of those dogs were champions, but many of them couldn't make it over the hump to grand champion. They would always be a game loser or just flat out lose, the fifth one or maybe the fourth one. But they would go on to be able to be potent enough to produce and reproduce themselves after that. So a lot of those dogs went on to also become registered merit, just like the Black Paz dog. But the only difference to me, in my opinion, is that they have less losses. When they were either the people that had them had the wherewithal to not take them any further and just leave them as they were, or they were just that good or just that more superior to where, they just never met an adversary that would put them in a predicament where they needed to get picked up, or where they would take so much damage because they was busy dishing out damage of their own. Whatever the case may be, I began to look even further into the third and fourth generations, and I'm seeing less and less productivity, but not a lot of losing. Not a lot of losing. So when I look at this stuff, it makes me question, certain things about it, of course. Certain things, of course, we all know are obvious. We are no longer in, that's just not the time we're in. But there are other places abroad in the world that have used those dogs also with tremendous success. And even then, in this case with Bad Rosemary, she had no equal adversary of her own sex. They had to put a male on her to do that, and then they make it like, oh yeah, she just wasn't enough. She couldn't outlast the male.
Hey bro, come on now, dog. Come on, man.
I guess we have a different perspective over here. Is, you did that because you had no female that was her equal, or even she dismantled all of them. So miss me with that, She couldn't outstand the male when the male is probably bigger and more stronger than, anyway. So it made me look further into the Luther strand. I just picked one particular strand to look at, which was the Luther strand, STP's champion, STP's Luther. And so I began to go down his lineage, and he produced a lot of winners. And then I came across Mel Kant's Little Luther, the Ablazing Dominique Ablazing. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. Rest in peace to him. But he was able to acquire those animals and take those animals and breed into some other bolio strands that he had acquired from America, and make a formidable strands, make some pretty good dogs. So those dogs end up making their way back, and I see, some pedigrees that I'm going to put up in more recent times where people are going heavier. They're using some of them are using, I think, the Tally Jack. I think some of that stuff, Tally Jack Pass. I'm just looking at random stuff that I came across with the Black Paz. Some of it had the heavy chop, BB Red, banjo type stuff in it, handicap, blood. Some of it I would see even more recently was heavy Luther with the Percios or the Invicto strand, a Bolio, emboss type stuff mixed in with just a quarter of it, with some more Eli or with some banjo. So I'm just noticing that, people are going heavy on it. But what are your thoughts about this strand? Do you know any other strands of the Boys line that didn't take very many losses or that produce in the number as great as that? And we know, I've already covered on the Scooters champion Emmett dog and how his progeny has moved along in succession, in producing power, over the years. So this is just one other. I don't know if it adds up to the same number like a champion Emmett. He's just exceptional as his offspring has been able to continue and his progeny continues to produce. But what do you say about this blood? Does it need an influx of fresh Mayday blood? Does it need some fresh Gaston or Buck blood or some Stone City to be added to it to bring it back into its full bloom of what it once was? Does it need some Jeep Red Boy Rascal or some Scrape Red Boy Cottingham or something? Just what are your thoughts about this? I just thought I would cover this. Please leave your comments and leave, your suggestions, your ideas of what you think needs to happen. If anything, you maybe just, nothing needs to happen. It is still doing what it needs to do elsewhere, just not in a way that, people can see that. But whatever the case may be, please leave your comments. And the case of champion Black Paz and the future, this case is now dismissed. Oh yeah. Now it's time for my closing monologue. Like I said every time, make your next move your best move, but move strategic like a chess move. The weather's starting to shift. Everything's starting to change. It's getting a little cool outside at night. Please make sure you do your due diligence to make sure that your animals are nice and cozy for the night so that we don't have any mishaps. Watch out for them brown lacroixes because they are on the move. And keep aware of any type of other rodents or pests that might be moving around causing your hounds some harm. But this is your host, Get a Hope James, cause we got to get a hold of the game. I'm out. Oh yeah, and for the person in the back, it's Get a Hold, H-O-L-D, James. Get a hold, H-O-L-D, James. Not get a hold, H-O-D or H-O. Although I have been known to, you know what I'm saying? But, it's to get a hold, cause we got to get a hold, H-O-L-D, of the game. I just thought I'd say that, man. I'm out.